You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of the AOLL Cup Series. For Ghostfire Media, I'm Josh Laston, and with me one more time is Mr. Carl Henderson.
Hey, what's up, man? It's kind of wild. It honestly feels like it's been much longer than a year that we've been doing this together, but also it feels like it's flown past as well. Had a great time with it so far, man. How are you?
You know what? I'm going to be a little bit sad to see this broadcast go, but at the same time, both of us moving up to the Cup Series next year, we're going to have somebody else on the call, so I'm ready for one more great race and making it to where, hopefully, it's going to be closer in the point standings tonight than just Blake Gordon running away.
Well, hey, on that topic, what do you got there for things to watch?
Well, I got Blake Gordon bringing it home today because he does have a massive points advantage going into this race, and in all honesty, it would take nearly an act of God to prevent him from winning the season championship.
I actually think that he is nearly mathematically guaranteed. I think if he leads a single lap, he might be okay. Or if he wins the pole.
Well, we do have quite the large field tonight. And
yeah,
well, we'll skip over one here as Mr. Justin Anderson has taken over pole. And I think tonight is going to be Justin working to save a little bit of face and get him into third position after having lost third to myself in the Sportsman.
Look, I think Justin has nothing to prove. We know how good he's been all season. He, had the unfortunate injury to his hand, but you get Steve Gottschalk there closing the gap. I mean, I think that, look, I mean, at this point, like, if you can't beat Blake, the best thing you can do is try to get as high a position as you can, and also try to make that gap as narrow as possible. But I want to point out, you missed Joshua Hanner there. You should have put Joshua Hanner finishing fourth.
Well, I mean, he's 15 points clear right now of third place due to not the greatest showing last week and missing a race. Justin Anderson is 6 points back of second, so he does have a chance tonight to be able to bring home second, even with the broken finger. But he's going to have to stay away from contact to where it doesn't hurt him as much as it has in previous races.
I'll tell you what, as they run right now, we can't display the points because of some technical difficulties, but I can talk through them. Gottschalk has not, actually Gottschalk just completed a lap, so this changes things up a little bit, but as it runs right now based on qualifying order, Justin Anderson does move up to second. It has a pretty sizable gap from his teammate Steve Gottschalk, and then Hanner bringing up the rear. But I think we're going to see the points moving all over the place tonight.
Well, and I think that right now it's the last race. Everybody's really going to be going out for that win because, again, pretty much if Blake Gordon finishes this race on the lead lap tonight, he's taking home the trophy.
Yeah, honestly, again, if he just leads a lap, I think he'll be mathematically guaranteed. It'll be really tight. I mean, at this point, he's got such a huge lead that it would take some crazy things. We see him. He's going
Running
crazy
the
right.
infield road course and having fun.
He may have actually murdered some people just now out of frame. So,
well, he took out some campers as we have.
Yeah. Hey, people stand outside those campers. Oh, he's actually driving inside the RVs right now. He briefly went inside of the RVs, so that was fun. Wow. Honestly, this might be the most fun we have tonight. If either Blake or Justin have the kind of races they've had in the past where they just pull away. But hey, Blake was sitting in second there for a little bit, but look at Joe Dinsmore, Brandon Bernhardt there trying to bust things up.
Well, and they're just, again, tonight is seeing possibly if someone has the opportunity to steal the best of the rest. And as it stands, looking at the points, if things would actually load for me. Right now, Joe Dinsmore is the best of the rest. He's 7 points clear of Mr. Adam Wood. Brandon Bernhardt is only 17 points back, so if one of these guys, sometimes that 5th place can just be a crowning achievement in and of itself. But
how about we run through the grid?
Ready to get this underway, let's run through. Justin Anderson wins the pole. Joe Dinsmore's in second. Brandon Bernhardt third. Blake Gordon in fourth. Tony Pandon fifth. Andrew Burgess in sixth. Adam Wood seventh. Steve Gottschalk is in eighth. Timothy St. Jean in 10th.
Did you get Brian McFerrin?
Did I skip Brian McFerrin in ninth?
I think you did.
Yeah, probably.
So Brian McFerrin in ninth. In 11th, we have Teddy Weichel. 12th is Sean Carmody. 13th, Johnny Downey. 14th is Ross Gage. 15th, Josh Hanner. 16th, Derek Schilling. 17th, Kevin Haas. 18th, David Naughton. 19th, John Gordon. And in 20th, Randy Pepper.
All right, and then to round out the field, we have the guys who did not set a time in qualifying. Gael Brooks in 21st, Jason Swan 22nd, Mike Burgess 23rd, and finally Ed Springer in 24th.
Did Gael not listen to us? We said he needed to start qualifying. Come on, man.
Well, apparently he really does not want Matt Wagner to be proud of him. But he may just want to move through the field because it's going to be entertaining as we're seeing Justin Anderson being the only one of that front four to go ahead and take the service road on out of the pits.
Hey, such good racecraft right there. I'm always blown away by it. Very respectful person.
Well, and right now he's wanting to keep as far away from other cars so he doesn't end up hurting his hand in lap one.
I guess actually that wasn't racecraft. That was pacecraft.
Ah!
It's not too bad.
Nah, we've had worse. As we're coming through turn 3 and 4, getting ready to take this one green. Justin Anderson doesn't get to dictate the start, but he's in the ideal position on the start of this race, and the green flag flies, and he is off. Joe Dinsmore gives him a little bit of space, but Blake Gordon's right there on his bumper, clears Brandon Bernhardt to get on that low line right behind Justin Anderson. And it is officially single file on that.
We're wrecking.
Caution already, and it looks like Mr. Tim St.
It was a big one.
And whew, that one's probably going to take out a reasonable amount of the field. Oh, Tim gets loose, brings it around, locks it up, and we're going to call that chaos.
Yeah, that actually it looked like more people wrecking when I first saw it out of the corner of my eye.
Oh,
but
this
man, a lot of guys kept it very.
Ooh, as Josh Hanner gets a little tag there. Looks like he may not have gotten all that much damage, but that's not how you want to start lap one.
Well, that's what happens when you qualify near the back, Mr. Hanner.
Well, you're the one that has to replace the car.
Might replace him if he doesn't start qualifying better.
Oh,
That's a joke.
I know. He was having trouble with his equipment, couldn't get many laps in. And
Yeah. He was struggling with his pedals. But yeah, so already caution out. I think we already saw a little bit of it there at the start of the race, but I think we might see a very fun race from Blake Gordon tonight. I can't believe I'm about to say this because I don't think you would normally say that he's the type of guy to show restraint, but I think you're going to see zero restraint from him tonight because honestly, if he gets up there and leads a lap, I think he's going to be okay. So why not just go out there and try to get a win? It'll be fun.
I mean, go out there, just have a blast, show that these kind of tracks are something you can win on, which he has in recent past.
It's not a super speedway, so he can do pretty well at it.
Well, I mean, right now, Miami is one of the faster of the 1.5 miles. Given that it's not a tri-oval, it has progressive banking. So
yeah.
He does love that high line, and here running that high line means more momentum to get through the pack.
Well, one thing that might hurt him here is this is a track transitioning to nighttime. Let's hope he doesn't have VR issues like he did at Martinsville in the Fuel Series.
Oh, good Lord, no. That would be terrible, but it is. There hasn't been an update recently, and normally for myself, that's when things go awry.
Yeah.
And
well, I want to give you guys a points update where we're standing right now. Blake Gordon has a 12-point lead over Justin Anderson. And then we have Steve Gottschalk, who is 21 points back from Justin. And then Hanner, who's another 10 back from Steve. So, once again, it is looking like Blake is in a solid position right now.
So it does sound like he needs to have that relatively quiet race, because if Justin Anderson wins this and he drops back to the midfield.
Yeah, those 5 bonus points are huge here. You're talking about, it's a 12-point differential, if this is correct. Let me refresh it here, because that was incorrect, it looks like. Hold on.
I was going to say.
It's actually, it's about 20 points. It's 20 points.
Okay, but still. With that, as the pace car is going to be peeling off, and it's about time for us to go back racing. And, Adam Wood's running a Ghostfire Media car tonight, as Justin Anderson is off and gets a great jump. He's going to be able to get on that low line. Joe Dinsmore is actually going to be following Justin, holding Blake up onto that top line. That isn't going to be as beneficial through the first 2 turns as it would be going a little bit farther back, but Blake has massive speed and is going to try to close down on Justin Anderson, who's running that first seam. Blake's getting all the way down, and he's close enough to where he should be able to get a little bit of a draft, but not all that much.
Yeah, Justin's looking really racy right now. I mean, he is fast. On that first restart, it looked like Justin was going to be in trouble, but he's looking fast right now.
As we're going to jump back into the battle for third, Brandon Bernhardt is running that top line, trying to carry as much speed through the corners to keep this battle with Joe Dinsmore going.
Oh, he bobbled a little bit there. Nothing too bad, but it may have given Joe the edge, and Joe's able to squeeze up in front.
Well, but Brandon is not going to give him any space, but there's Tony Pandon on that low line. And it's looking like that the low line is going to be the preferred line for the time being, as we're also seeing Steve Gottschalk working his way through, getting himself up a position, currently running in 6th as he is getting his nose in front of Adam Wood. But our leaders have opened up a second gap to the second pack right now. And Justin Anderson is currently running about a third of a second in front of Blake Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've seen over and over, right? I mean, these two guys pull away from the field and just sort of dominate races. But we'll have to see, you know, as these tires get older on a longer run, are they going to be able to continue to hold that kind of gap?
Well, they aren't having to run side by side like the guys we're currently watching, because this battle right now, which this is essentially 4th through 9th, as Sean Carmody and Steve Gottschalk are sitting there going side by side, and it looks like Sean has the advantage on that top line, even though it looks like he just tried to give Steve Gottschalk a brown scare right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting him to be able to make the pass there, but I mean, Gottschalk's on the move right now. He is. I mean, I think going back to what you were saying earlier about closing the gap, I think Gottschalk wants to get every point he can early.
And he's trying to make sure that he can hold on to that 2nd place after last week at Rockingham. And him and Sean Carmody are battling, but I'm going to take a quick switch where we can go side by side, even though Carl's watching something farther back there.
Hey, you didn't tell me what we were going to look at. What you want me to look at?
Well, I was going to say you get the leaders while I go.
I can do that. Oh, and we actually got a battle forming up there.
Well,
Uh,
that wouldn't. It's close, but actually,
it's a lot closer than it was earlier.
Let's go ahead and actually swap that, because Blake Gordon is actually closing the gap right on Justin Anderson. And Justin is just keeping him at bay for the time being. And
Yeah, for now. But I mean, Blake. I mean, you looking at lap times right now. Blake has been significantly faster the past couple of laps. I mean, he's. I think if he can find a way to get around him, he's going to be able to take this position.
Well, it looks like for some
Yeah.
reason you're in front, but okay. Even though that's not the order that it's supposed to be.
I blame you.
You should.
Hey, you know, someone we have not talked about much tonight. I'm going to bring it up here on my screen down in the bottom
yellow
right.
is out.
Oh, we got a few guys involved in that.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look here. It's Kevin Haas, Derek Schilling.
Oh, so what it looked like happened there is Kevin Haas came down a little bit, but there was some net code at play too. It appeared. I would say Derek Schilling was the. Or actually, no, it was Jason Swan there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That was.
Yeah, Derek Schilling was just
Yeah,
an
he
innocent
came later.
bystander there.
I mean, and so, I mean, honestly, so was Swan, but tough break there for those guys. You know, I think, you know, what happened there with Kevin Haas. I mean, yeah, he made a small mistake there, but normally when that happens, it's not going to cause a big issue. I mean, it looks like he got made a little bit loose on corner exit. Turned down a little bit, and normally that's going to be okay, but it was not okay in this situation.
Well, and I think even without netcode, that probably would have still ended up happening.
It's a pretty good chance, but you know, again, if someone had not been beneath him when that happened, I mean that is a, you know, you can recover from that.
We're 14 laps in, and we're getting pit stops. Oh, Blake Gordon does the fake out, stays out. I'm going to assume that this would be a fuel-only stop.
Yeah, I mean, I have, you know, we're looking at about a, you know, 35-ish lap fuel run, and I would be very surprised to see guys taking tires this early, you know, because of the limited sets.
Well, let's take a look, and Justin Anderson's
he's
taking
up.
tires. And I'm wondering if that's an oops, I forgot to uncheck my tires.
I find that hard to believe. I think Justin probably thought more people were going to take tires, because now he's going to have to work through a significant portion of the field and burn up those fresh tires as he's getting through the field.
But, I mean, it's time to gamble. Justin is going to have to do something to make sure he has the opportunity to get himself into the win, but there's only 3 sets of tires tonight.
Yeah, Justin's almost, he's 39 points back from Blake Gordon now. You know, fell back big time, but he's going to have those fresh good years, and I would imagine that he's going to be able to, you know, slice through the field relatively quickly, because there was some degree of fall off, you know, by this point in the race.
Well, if we're talking 35 laps for a fuel run tonight, well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, let's see how it plays out. I think it's premature to get tires, but again, it's kind of going back to what you said. Justin had to try something. I mean, he cannot just, you know, it looked like Blake had his number at the end of that run there. So Blake was going to get around him eventually. Justin has to try something different, and I imagine Justin would have liked it if everyone that came in with him had taken tires as well. But as it is, he's not in a bad spot.
No, the only thing he really has to worry about right now, being in 11th position, is shenanigans in front of him.
Yeah, I mean that's always the fear whenever you pit and get out of cycle, is you get shuffled back in the field. And it's not that the guys back here are bad drivers or anything. It's just that it's a lot of cars in front of you, and a lot more opportunity for guys to have issues.
Well, as we look through the pit times, Justin Anderson, Steve Gottschalk, and John Gordon all took tires on that pit stop. So Justin and Steve, that sounds like it definitely was a coordinated decision. And
yeah,
it looks like the Steel Horse guys may be splitting strategies, because 2 of the drivers from Steel Horse, which maybe makes up like 5% of the drivers, decided to do it, but it's the 2 that are in the chase that decided to do it.
Yeah, and that almost makes me think that they didn't coordinate it, because you know, we can always ask, but I generally speaking, if you're going to split strategies like that, you would want to split the guys who are still in the championship battle. But look, I mean, I think a lot of that may have just been last-minute calls. I mean, I think, you know, and in a way, I mean, I guess they both took tires, so I don't think there's a strategy split there, but we'll see.
All right, as we are coming to green, the pace car is going to peel off, and Blake Gordon and Brandon Bernhardt start side by side. Blake gets a reasonable jump there, not the best that we've ever seen from him, but he holds on to it, and it looks like Brandon Bernhardt is going to hold on to second once we get out of turn 2. And
yeah,
that's what Blake needs, is that teammate there to help protect.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, honestly, this is what Brandon Bernhardt needs as well. I mean, this is a guy who you and I especially know can win races. And I'm honestly surprised he doesn't have more Cup Series wins. But I'll tell you what, if you want to switch over and show mine as well, Justin Anderson right now cutting through the field. He is already up to 5th. You can see him there centered in the screen. I mean, I wish we could have got switched over just a little bit earlier. He just cut through that. Hey, you know what? I can rewind it and show that. How about that?
Yes, you can.
We'll rewind that, because it was kind of a crazy move he made to get through all that. As we can see, I mean,
it looks like there was a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, it looks like someone
full advantage.
But man, I thought he was about to make contact there, but he doesn't. And, he gets through it. I mean, that's good driving right there.
Yeah, and right now we're looking at the battle for second. Joe Dinsmore is right there on Brandon Bernhardt, and look at who just came into view.
Yeah, he's crazy fast. Crazy fast right now.
Those tires are just doing him unbelievably well. Joe Dinsmore gives him the space, knowing that A, he's a teammate, B, he's in the battle for the championship, and C, he's got new tires. He's going to be fast.
Yeah, he's got plenty of speed right now. It is not an issue for him. Making that outside work like it is no problem at all.
Why are we being delayed here? Thank you. As Justin is now setting his sights on Blake Gordon.
Yeah, I was saying that, with all the people in front of him, he was going to have to burn through tires in order to, by the time he got through them all, he was going to burn through his tires, but he got through them no problem. So
and he is a half second faster than Blake Gordon right now.
Yeah, this is academic at this point. There's no problem here. He's going to make this pass. He's going to make it look easy.
But yeah, this is not going to be all that much of a fight to where even once Justin gets around Blake Gordon right now, he's not going to have enough of an advantage to really be able to hang on as Justin's taking that midline. Should be able to hold the speed. Now he's got the draft. And he's alongside and should be around once we get around.
Yeah, I think once Justin gets clean air, I think he's going to pull away pretty quickly.
As we're seeing in the turn.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, there is going to be absolutely no issues right now.
And Blake didn't contest that either, and he shouldn't. I mean, there's really no reason to try to contest that when you got a guy so much faster than you are in this situation.
The last 10 laps? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's a different scenario, but that's not where we're at now. And, no, I mean, Blake with a heads-up move there because, if Blake gets wrecked out, there's a chance that the points wouldn't work out in his favor.
But
it would take the stars aligning. Yeah, I still think he's going to be okay. We'll see. I'm not. This is not mathematically guaranteed at this point. I don't believe, but it could be tight if Blake falls back.
But we are at one of Justin's favorite tracks, so he's got the speed. So it's just going to be a matter of what he can do with it. And I'm going to jump back here into the battle for fifth, as we're starting to see some of these guys get real racy, as there's Mr. Hanner making his way back up through the field, up 8 spots from the start. He's got an Adam Wood in tow, as we see David Naughton showering the field, and Sparks getting the fireworks started a little early tonight.
Yeah.
But it's real racy here in the midfield, to where there's a whole lot of red in our gaps, to where everybody is looking real close, as we're seeing Steve Gottschalk come into frame right there. Let's go ahead and make our first visit to the Brandon Bernhardt roll bar camera, going on board with Adam Wood.
Oh, it's Adam Wood, and we're looking at Hanner's rear bumper, and
seeing a few other rear bumpers coming into view right there. That's Gael Brooks and Tony Pandon, as Adam makes room for Steve Gottschalk.
Gael, where the hell did he come from? He's up 16 spots. He's in 5th.
Gael, if he just qualified.
Man,
just qualify, man. And you would be up at the front. That's all you got to do.
All right. This was a little bit ago. I missed it, but Dave Wright commented his 3 for tonight are Joe Dinsmore, Adam Wood, and Brandon Bernhardt. So DW's made his picks.
Well, I think one of those has a chance right now, and that's the 95 currently running in 3rd. But Steve Gottschalk.
I think you're selling Mr. Brandon Bernhardt short. And look, Adam Wood's shown speed, not tonight so far, but I I would not count out Brandon Bernhardt, especially. I think, I mean, he's running in 4th right now. He's got some speed tonight.
Well, I'm watching Steve Gottschalk just cut this field up on those fresher tires. And I mean, everybody had 14 laps on their tires before. Homestead is one that fresh tires are going to make a massive difference. And even this long into the run, Justin Anderson is 3/10 faster than Blake Gordon right now, even though Blake just put in a serious lap.
Yeah, I think I think what we're gonna see. I mean, you got to think the guys that didn't pit, like Blake Gordon, they're gonna have to pit soon. You know, and not too soon. I mean, we're looking. I said a 35 lap run. We have some caution laps mixed in. They're probably gonna be able to extend it out to I'd say lap 40 maybe. But you know, we're quickly approaching that point. Those guys are gonna have to pit.
If we're talking 35 laps, we're gonna make it to lap 50.
You think so? Okay, we'll see.
Well, everybody pit on lap 14, 2 extra laps of caution.
Well, not everybody didn't. I mean, Blake Gordon didn't. That's what I'm talking about. Blake Gordon, Brandon Bernhardt have not pitted.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
So they're going to have to pit probably around lap 40 or so, maybe a little bit earlier.
I would say we're probably going to be looking at about lap 37 because that is not. But right now, I'm going to jump up to Blake Gordon, and we're going to go on that bumper because Joe Dinsmore is only about 4/10 behind him. And he's making himself look fast to where he's got about, he cut a 10th out from the last time we looked at it. He's got that draft. So Blake running that high line is not going to be all that big of an advantage.
Well, and look, I mean, Joe didn't take tires when he pitted. He did fuel only. So right now, I mean, Joe is faster on equal tires with Blake Gordon.
And a heavier tank, which is going to give these cars a little bit of a fit. Because Homestead is one of those tracks I did not have a chance to run the setup because I was busy running for the Snowball Derby that Endeavor is putting on December 5th, 5 p.m., covered by Ghostfire Media. I'm going to plug that.
That was a smooth segue. I like that.
I'm going to plug that a few times tonight because I'm excited for it. But these cars do not like older tires on a full tank because we're talking pretty much all mechanical grip. And that extra weight going onto the side is going to burn the tires up just a little bit more.
Well, Joe Dinsmore's having no issues with it right now.
Well, he has got this gap to Blake Gordon, but hasn't been able to close it all that much. Sorry, I had to cough.
That's why you need a boom mic. You can just look away and.
I'd rather just mute myself to where I don't blow out people's eardrums. But I'm going to make a quick jump back because we're starting to see again in this midfield some great battles to where Sean Carmody's trying to hold off Brian McFerrin. And honestly, I think if you're able to hold that low line, it's where you need to be.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I'm actually watching right now. You see it right on the back of the screen. Hanner just got passed by Ross Gage. Starting to feel the pressure from Derek Schilling and Adam Wood right now as well.
Well, as Ross, yeah. I have no words.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone that is in the Cup Series belongs here. I mean, it's not like it's. It's not like there's a few good guys and a few scrubs. I mean,
there's a few really good guys and then good guys.
Yeah, I mean, and look, we see Adam Wood here making a move on Hanner as well. I mean, Hanner, may have just burned up his stuff, trying to move up through the field because he's up 4 positions. Earlier, he was up 7. Hanner falling back right now, but look, he had no chance at the championship at this point, anyways. Right now, he's just fighting for bragging rights.
Well, and of course, we jump away for just a short while, and Joe Dinsmore is fighting on that low line around Blake Gordon, and more power to him. These guys are going to go side by side probably for quite a while, because Joe will be faster through the turns, but Blake will be faster off of the turns, to where the best thing that they could probably do is see who's braver, angering the netcode gods, and try to get some side draft going to stall the person out in front of them. And I think that's going to be more on Joe Dinsmore.
Well, you know, and I was saying earlier that I thought that Blake was going to kind of be, all out tonight, but we are seeing someone who is very conservative right now. I mean, he is not pushing the issue too hard. I mean, obviously he's going to fight for the position. He's not just going to give it up because he enjoys racing. But at the same time, I mean, he is not. I think Blake is okay if Joe gets around here, because he realizes that, he probably burned up his stuff a little bit, and he's going to pit soon.
Well, and I'm going to go ahead and why is the... Yeah, I don't know why that's taking so long today. But I'm going to say your math is bad.
I was just looking at laps now. Of course, it depends on how much they saved under caution, but I said lap 40. We're at 41, so I mean, we could go a little bit longer, depending on how much they saved under caution, how much is in the draft. I mean, I think there's no way he makes it to 45, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, and the bigger thing we're going to have to watch out for is we do have a few people that are going to have to pit here very soon. And there's Steve Gottschalk making his way to the battle for third. And Blake is still out there. And apparently, Justin may have made the right call, because if we do stay green, and we're getting 40 laps to a stint, even with cautions thrown in there, he was at the window.
Based on what I was seeing,
Blake Gordon making his way in right now.
There we go.
On lap 43. So yeah, roughly 40 laps is going to do it for us.
I think if we had all green, I think it's going to still be less than 40. I think you are probably gonna be looking at about 38, maybe 39. It just depends. I mean, I think Justin right now is burning a lot more fuel than someone who's in the draft right now.
But we're also going to jump back here as Brian McFerrin and Tony Pandon. And I went to click on Brian because he was the one making the way up through the field. And according to John Gordon, they were saying 37 conservatively in practice. As Mike Burgess has crashed and
no caution.
Let's take a quick look and see what happens here. It looks like just a little loose. Gets it down off the racing surface. So yeah, no caution.
Yeah,
no one else collected.
That is where I will give iRacing props for the adjustments to throwing cautions. Like, there was no need for there to be a caution there. I'm glad we stayed green.
The person that's most glad is Justin Anderson, who was coming into frame right as Mike Burgess was getting up and moving again. And he has over a 5-second gap to Joe Dinsmore right now. Lapping ever so slightly slower, but he's just in cruise control.
Yeah, not an issue right now for him. Blake Gordon has fallen back to 16th after pitting. Brendan Bernhardt, Timothy St. Jean also in. So we'll have to see, when this all shakes out, because right now Blake's going to have the advantage. He's got the fresh tires.
Well, and the other major thing to think about is Brandon Bernhardt came in 2 laps after Blake. Brandon was running in the draft that whole time.
Right. Yeah, no, the draft makes a huge difference. I mean, look, what I was seeing on field numbers was...
There goes Blake Gordon. Yeah. Working to get his lap back. Gets a little squirrely on that low line, getting on the throttle.
Yeah.
But
what I was seeing
is
what I was seeing on fuel numbers during practice was 36, 37 laps, and obviously all of that's dependent on the draft, and we saw the difference there with Brandon Bernhardt, able to take it longer. But I think those guys are probably conserving pretty heavily under caution. We'll see here in a little bit, because I think these guys that pitted at lap 14, they're going to have to be coming in, relatively shortly. And I mean, I think not just because of fuel, but because right now Blake Gordon's eating into that lead of Justin Anderson.
Well, Blake Gordon just ran a 32.92 in comparison to Justin Anderson's 34.79.
Wow.
That's
a little over a second and a half. That's huge.
And the bigger thing that we're going to need to think about is Justin Anderson is going to cycle out behind Blake Gordon at this point. But with Justin Anderson coming in at lap 14, Blake coming in lap 42, and there were caution laps in there, there is the possibility with where Blake is running, he may only have 3 stops that he has to do tonight.
Yeah, Blake Gordon may end up with an extra stop here. It really depends on how the cautions and all of that fall out. I mean, you can see right there, I mean, Justin Anderson just getting past no problem with those guys with fresh tires.
And Tim St. Jean came in 1 full lap later, or 2 laps later, he came in with Brandon Bernhardt. But everybody on the lead lap, so through 13th, still out there after having pit. And Justin Anderson's now at lap 50 of 133. So he may be able to stretch it as he's running the high line, trying to keep those tires as fresh as he can. He's got to be thinking pit stop in the next 2 to 3 laps.
I would think so as well, but I mean, he could also, possibly be hoping for caution right now. I mean, he's not going to trap, guys like Blake Gordon a lap down or anything, but, would give him the advantage of being able to pit and not risk hitting any yellow barrels.
Well, we're going to hope that he avoids the Homestead barrels this week.
I had to get that dig in there, because I know he watches the broadcast after, and I think he'll really appreciate me saying that.
Well, of course he is. We won't bring up the meme of it.
No, not this time.
But right now, we're actually watching the battle for 7th. This is Derek Schilling that we're focusing on. Sean Carmody is in 9th, right on his heels. And then Andrew Burgess is in 7th, directly in front of them, and actually starting to pull away at this point. There, I just moved my microphone out of the way that time.
Well, Blake Gordon right now running in 13th, still laying down like really fast lap times. 33.33 last time for him, 35 even for Justin Anderson. So, I mean, you have to think Blake Gordon's going to be our leader when this all cycles out, but for how long?
Well, and I think at this point, with that 14 lap difference, it's just going to be a back and forth, and it looks like we're going to stay green at this point. So it's going to be a matter of who has the freshest tires at the very end.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's easy to say we'll stay green, but I mean, pit stops always throw a wrench in things. You're about to have a whole lot of guys doing their first green flag pit stops of the night, and who knows what'll happen.
And right now, we have hit. Justin Anderson is roughly 40 laps into this run. Again, there was a caution in there. Yeah,
not a whole lot of caution laps for him, but able to conserve a little bit, and especially in the lead. I mean, 40 laps is stretching it, but I have to think he's got to be coming real soon.
But this is going to play into his hands, to where if he is able to do 40 laps on a stint, he is going to be capable of making it to the end if we do stay green, whereas Blake Gordon is going to have one more stop.
You would expect that, yeah, but that's assuming we have no cautions. Cautions, everything could get thrown out the window. But we'll have to wait and see. And Justin Anderson's still out there.
Joe Dinsmore, Steve Gottschalk, Adam Wood, all in. So all of Justin's teammates currently in the pits. And I would assume he's going to be in this lap.
Yeah, I would expect that as well. I think he's going to have to. We'll have to see how far back he'll, end up falling, due to these guys with fresher tires.
And it's looking like he's making his way in. A nice clean entry on the brakes, avoids the barrels, and that is going to cycle Gael Brooks into the lead if he's not in this lap himself, which it looks like he is.
And
so that's going to give Brian McFerrin the lead.
Gottschalk actually had issues on his pit stop. Looks like he spun out on pit road, possibly trying to stop for his pit, and had to tow.
Oh, that is unfortunate. That's very unfortunate to where I can't even find him.
Yeah, he's currently running 18th.
Well, I'm on him, but the cameras will not find him. So that
he may have left the track.
That might have been an alt F4 kind of situation.
That is certainly what it seems like right now.
All right, Tony Pandon, Gael Brooks, Derek Schilling, Teddy Weichel, Johnny Downey, all in the pits. And Brian McFerrin saved quite a bit of fuel. He was in at lap 14, and
we've seen this before.
Running.
We've seen this before where he's been able to stretch out a fuel run. He's obviously been able to save, and I have to think he's going to be coming this lap or the next.
Yeah, he's in this lap. He's already slowing down and making his way in, but great job on conservation and leading a few laps, and that's going to cycle Blake Gordon into the lead of this race. With Brian McFerrin, Andrew Burgess, David Naughton all in the pits. So right now everybody has made their second pit stop. Blake Gordon, however, is running on 16, 17 lap old tires at this point. So these guys are going to be coming out flying in comparison to him.
He's got a pretty significant lead right now, though, but that lead's going to go away pretty quickly.
It most likely will. And here's the big thing. Justin Anderson still on the lead lap after that pit cycle and is about a half a track behind Blake Gordon.
Yeah, I think, he was a full second faster that time. I think you're looking at probably 10 laps max. He's probably going to be around Blake Gordon. We'll see if that ends up being the case. A lot of things can change in 10 laps.
Well, and we're going to cycle back into the battle for 8th right now. And this is with Blake Gordon dealing with some traffic. Adam Wood, Timothy St. Jean, and Brian McFerrin. This is their battle for 8th. And Adam, not on the freshest tires amongst this group. That's actually going to be Brian McFerrin with 4-lap newer of tires. Tim St. Jean actually came in at lap 44, so 14-lap older tires in comparison to the guys around him, with the exception of Blake Gordon, who is a lap ahead of him right now.
For now, I think they're about to get their laps back here. At the very least, Brian McFerrin will. Both Tim St. Jean and Blake Gordon on pretty close to equal tires.
But Tim is a lap down in comparison, so he is just fighting to try to get that lap back, but right now he is in the lucky dog position, so if we do have a caution, he's the first one to get his, because Brian McFerrin has unlapped himself. But now it's up to Justin Anderson to try to close down the gap, and he's only about the turns behind Blake Gordon now. Coming up on traffic.
Well, that traffic shouldn't be much of an issue for him. I mean, Brandon Bernhardt's directly in front of him. Brandon pitted just a little bit later than Blake, but significantly older tires.
12 lap difference. So we'll jump to the Brandon Bernhardt roll bar camera to watch Brandon Bernhardt get past.
Yeah, that was not much excitement there. That was honestly like making a pass on the freeway. No issues there.
With the exception of if you're trying to do it in my car.
Oh, or if you're trying to do it in Miami.
Oh, God. Driven there once. Never want to do it again.
I've done it a few times, and it terrifies me every time.
But now it's time for Justin Anderson lapping a full second faster than Blake Gordon right now to try to chase him down and make up 7 seconds, which, in all honesty,
he should be able to
shouldn't be
do.
an issue.
Yeah, I mean, based on current times, that should be about 7 laps.
I
maybe
would
a little
say,
less.
honestly, it's going to turn into a little bit more because Justin's tires are going to start wearing. They're going to level out a little bit. But I honestly don't think, oh, good Lord. Way to prove me wrong, Justin.
You know, honestly, we haven't seen as much of that tonight, right? Like, usually you'll see, someone that's on older tires, like a guy with fresher tires, like he'll be a lot faster, and then they'll kind of be, not be equal, but it'll, the gap will, decrease. But I haven't seen that as much tonight. It's been a lot more like the guy with fresher tires is consistently faster.
As we're crossing the line one more time, we'll see how much ground Justin Anderson, only a second that time, but he also ran the high line to get around Andrew Burgess. So that gap is now under 5 seconds.
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, Justin is got the fresh tires. He's going to narrow this gap in a hurry. Full second faster. I mean, he should take back the lead of this race, but then Blake's going to pit. Then Blake will take the lead. We're gonna have back and forth, and it's almost gonna be like a game of hot potato.
Well, as Sean Carmody and Adam Wood get the pass done on Ross Gage, and it looks like these two may be trying to link up a little bit, work together, but nope. Adam decides to go low. Sean goes high. Even if I'm wanting that position now, I'm going to work together with an unlikely friend in this situation to close down that gap, because Kyle Brooks is currently 7 seconds in front of them.
Yeah, so quick points update here for you guys. Blake Gordon, as they run, unofficially is a 32-point lead over Justin Anderson. Hanner is then in third, and he is 27 points back. Steve Gottschalk currently 3 points back from Hanner, and is out of the race. So as long as Hanner can finish in the top 13, top 14, something like that, he should solidify himself in third. But right now, I mean, the big battle is between Justin Anderson and Blake Gordon.
Well, I'm wanting to, and I clicked on the wrong one, but we can actually see Blake Gordon up there as Justin's being shoved down low ever so slightly. But that blue car of Blake Gordon is well within view of Justin Anderson. We have Tim St. Jean there giving him a little bit of a pull to help close that gap down, as Justin's going to run the high line, but Blake is now within striking distance, within about a lap, because that's under a second at this point.
Yeah, I think
and he's still about a second faster.
Yep, I think he's going to get very close to his bumper this lap. We'll have to see how much, there's a chance that Blake was holding back a little bit, anticipating, I don't think Blake's going to be able to battle him, but Blake might hope that he can, hold him up for just a little bit.
But we'll take a quick look and see, as Justin looks a lot more comfortable hitting that stripe and Turn
Ooh.
2, little bit of a bobble, little excitement wanting to get this pass done as he's down underneath Blake Gordon to retake the lead of this race. And it looks like Blake may try to fight back for just a little while, but as we hit 1 and 2, Justin should be able to just tear away from Blake Gordon.
Yeah, no problem there. No issue. So we got to start talking about pit stops again. 'Cause we're approaching that point. Blake Gordon, especially. I mean, we're probably looking at about 9 laps at most for him, I would think, maybe 10. But Blake Gordon will have to be coming in, and then we'll see how things will shake out again. He should take the lead again once Justin pits, and I honestly think this is going to be like a little bit of a merry-go-round.
Yeah, this is just going to be a constant swapping. But you have to wonder, the work that Justin had to do to get through the lap traffic, is that going to adversely impact this run? Having been probably having to run the high line a little bit more, be a little more aggressive, as he's 18 laps into this. Blake Gordon is currently, that's not what I wanted to hit. This is what happens when it's been a long weekend. But we're starting to spread out through the field. The closest battle right now is Adam Wood trying to track down Brian McFerrin on older tires. But I don't think that one's going to happen. Oh,
Yeah,
Derek
look
Schilling on Joshua Hanner, but again, don't think that one's going to end up happening. They're 1 lap difference on tires. But this is also the battle that our leaders are trying to catch up to. As Justin Anderson has caught Ross Gage, with Andrew Burgess latching a ride onto him. And that's actually a battle for position behind him. So it's, yeah, Andrew Burgess just latches on to Justin Anderson to pass Ross Gage.
Andrew Burgess is currently a lap down, but he's got some speed right now. I mean, he's throwing down competitive laps.
He is part of the last group to pit, to where he pitted on lap 58.
Yeah, that's 2 laps fresher than our leader Justin Anderson. Definitely has some speed right now.
Well, and he has that toe from Justin. It's just a matter of, can he close down that gap? Because that's actually probably what Justin Anderson wants right now. Getting that car closed up on your bumper helps him, reduces the drag ever so slightly, so he can go even deeper into this run. But Justin has dropped Blake Gordon by nearly 4 seconds at this point. And Blake should be thinking about the pit stop in the next 3 to 4 laps.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Justin. I mean, he's got quite a bit of clean air in front of him. This honestly should not, it should give him an opportunity to build up a little bit of a gap.
Well, that's assuming that that's actually what he wants, because with Justin, as we can see, has a lot of extra track in front of him. But I would want that draft, because the extra fuel savings, even if minimal, can make the difference in making it to the end of this race.
Honestly, I think he'll probably make it. I have to break out a calculator, but I think I think he should be good, even without having to save a whole lot. But we'll have to see. The person who's definitely not going to make it is Blake Gordon.
Well, as he's on his way in right now. Looks like he gets in clean. But Joe Dinsmore is going to end up in second due to that pit stop. But he's got 8 seconds to Justin Anderson right now. And we're going to jump back because Tony Pandon and Sean Carmody side by side right now. And this is a battle for 8th place as we are on lap 81 of 133. Sean's looking to keep as much momentum as he can. But I don't know if that's really going to end up helping him because it's a longer distance. You don't get off the throttle as much. And right now it should be full fuel savings for every car out on track.
I have to wonder if, going back to what you were saying about fuel savings, I have to wonder if Justin Anderson perhaps was trying to tuck in there behind Burgess. Burgess made a great move there to get around him, and I like you said, Justin Anderson may be okay with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. That is not a battle that he needs to be having. But if he can latch onto that bumper, it may be able to save him an extra lap as, again, Blake Gordon still is going to have one more stop in this race unless cautions fly regularly.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if cautions fly regularly, I think he's still going to pick a stop. But what's going to change if cautions come out is it could get him on the same strategy as everyone else. I mean, he doesn't want the caution to come out right now. That would be awful. What he wants to have happen is for Justin Anderson to pit, and then for Blake to make it basically to the end of his fuel run before he has to pit, and then a caution comes out. That would be an ideal Blake caution.
Well, let's not talk about Blake cautions in the final race of the year.
Look, I'll talk about Blake cautions anytime there's an opportunity to talk about Blake cautions.
Oh. And here's the thing is Blake has one more stop, but it looks like Justin Anderson, if he's able to stretch this run right now, he is going to maybe only have one more.
Yeah, no, I think Justin's next stop is going to be his last one. I believe he is going to run it dry if it comes to it to end this race. I mean, he might be finished with being out of fuel. I do not think he's going to make 2 stops.
And with that, we'll jump up here. We'll take a quick look. Justin Anderson, if he is capable of making this.
Oh, he'd be in good shape if he could do that.
100% if he can run another 10 laps on this tank. Heck, if he can run another 7 laps on this tank, it's looking like he probably will be able.
He's going to run it as long as he can, though, because there's always a chance of green white checkers and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I think he's going to. He's going to make it to where it's like it's yelling at him, and then he's going to come in and pit.
Oh, absolutely. And then he has to hope, pray, as there's Blake Gordon showing up in frame to get his lap back.
Hello.
To where it's looking like that early pit stop is the right path, but they're coming up on traffic. Blake is going to try to tear around that. Good Lord, I missed who that was.
Well, going around Derek Schilling there.
Derek Schilling. He's running a different car tonight, and I'm confused.
Yeah, that's a very different car.
Running the Guitar Attic.
Yeah. Some of the colors almost look like something you would run.
Hey,
you might have to hit
nothing wrong
him
with pink.
I didn't say there was. You might have to hit him with some copyright infringement, though.
Nah, I can't hit any car sitting there.
Oh, you can hit some cars. I've seen you do it.
At least I don't do it under caution to my own teammates.
Well, that's the best time to do it. You can't bring out a caution if it's already under caution. So enough about us. Let's talk points right now, because right now, as they run, Blake Gordon has about a 14-point lead over Mr. Justin Anderson.
Well, and honestly, we know Blake at some point, unless there is a caution in the near future, Blake is going to cycle out into first. Once Justin Anderson finally makes his dive into the pits, and again, I think he is very much happy running about 0.3 of a second back on Andrew Burgess. Get a little extra fuel so he can run hard into those last 40 laps.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't even think Justin's going to have to push that hard. I think I think this is his race to lose at this point, barring a caution. That might be a commentator's curse right there. We'll have to see. But the way it's cycling through, I think this is going to work out heavily in Justin's favor.
Well, we will see, because again, I'm looking at it in terms of who ran the numbers earlier. We had the caution at lap 13. Takes it towards 120 laps. If you know you could get 40 laps in a stint, which is what it's looking like Justin Anderson is pushing towards now, you come in, take those tires, hope it stays green. And right now, everybody's running a fantastic race. Andrew Burgess is actually battling Derek Schilling for position right now. This is the battle to get to the top 10. And Justin Anderson may be a little bit tired of laying in wait.
Well, if you see an opportunity, you kind of got to take it. But I mean, look, I think you got to look at a big picture. And right now, I mean, if he can ride behind these guys for a little bit, it's going to save him enough fuel. I mean, save him a little bit extra. Because the last thing you want is for a caution to come out after you pit. So he's hoping right now that that we stay green, or for there to be a caution prior to him pitting.
I mean, a caution prior to him pitting would be the best thing for him. Adam Wood has made his way into the pits, so we're seeing those guys that came in around lap 50, well, shortly after lap 50, start making their dives into the pits.
Yeah, I mean, the fuel window's open at this point. If we can make it 40 laps, then we're 40 laps to the end. So why not come in, short pit, try to gain some spots? If we have green, white, checkered, Adam might be in trouble. But the way this race has been running, I think we might be able to avoid that.
Well, I think you're working on the commentator's curse right there. Justin Anderson is being very cautious around these lapped cars, giving him plenty of space to make sure that they don't ruin his night. And I don't think Mr. Derek Schilling would do anything of the sort.
Well, certainly not on purpose, but whenever you have cars of different speeds around each other, that's when chaos erupts.
Well, as Derek gets right on the bumper, ends up dropping back ever so slightly through the turns.
Oh, we got a lot of guys on pit road now.
All right, Joe Dinsmore, Tony Pandon, Joshua Hanner, and Sean Carmody. So I would say that Justin has possibly another lap in him, maybe two, because he was 2 laps later than the rest of his team the last time through the pit cycle.
Now, the big question mark will be, he comes in, takes tires. Is he going to try to immediately get up there and try to start fighting Blake Gordon for, first spot, assuming Blake cycles back into the lead? Here he comes.
And he's in. And it looks...
Avoids those barrels.
Well, that's a good thing. Did not want to give us more ammunition to do that again. As Kyle Brooks is going to cycle into the lead.
You know what's probably happened? Is Gael has probably somehow saved enough fuel to make it to the end, because he does stuff like that.
Well, yeah, he manages to do it, but Blake Gordon has passed Justin Anderson. We now have Andrew Burgess in the pits with him. And Justin Anderson just now getting out of his pit. He's on his way. He's in 4th right now, dropping into 5th. as Brandon Bernhardt will be the next car to get around him. And then Joe Dinsmore is going to try to hunt him down, but he's got 6 seconds to fight and get himself back. But Justin,
Kyle Brooks is pitted. Blake Gordon is our new leader.
and he is now a sitting duck.
Not just a sitting duck, but he still has to pit. I mean, that's it's not a great scenario for him to be in. Justin Anderson currently sitting in 4th. Everyone in front of him will have to pit again. Everyone will likely have to pit again.
Oh, as Joshua Hanner crashed, and yellow is out.
Wow.
Looks like Joshua Hanner and Ross Gage. Oh, that looks like Ross may have ended up a little bit loose.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hanner definitely came up, but I think Hanner was expecting Ross to be up against the wall, and Ross couldn't do it because he was in the process of spinning.
Yeah,
Man,
that's tough. But he keeps it out of the wall, so if he gets going again, he should be fine.
He had to
so
be towed.
let's see, Blake Gordon making his way into the pits, gonna take his last set of tires. Justin Anderson just came out. So these guys, ooh. Oh, that's gonna make these last 33 real interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Blake and Brandon here are going to lose a lot of positions on track. I still think this is Justin's race to lose. But look, I am not ruling out Kyle Brooks right now. I mean, he's run strong all night. He has 1 lap fresher tires than Justin Anderson. We'll be restarting the row behind him. I think Kyle could be a threat tonight.
Well, and Joe Dinsmore 2 laps before Justin Anderson. So, all right. While we are under caution, let's hear one last time from our friend Randy Pepper at the Guitar Attic.
Hi, I'm Randy from the Guitar Attic. Can we be serious for a second? Are you tired of being a loser? Can't do anything right? Feel like everyone's coming down on you all the time? Well, there's a way out, and I'm gonna show you. Hey Mom, look what I learned. That's right, pick up a guitar, learn how to play guitar. Automatically you're gonna become a chick magnet. The ladies are gonna love you. Your kids are gonna think you're cool. So what you need to do is come down here to the Guitar Attic, 16725 Ridgewood Avenue in Daytona Beach, Florida, or go to guitarattic.com and buy yourself a guitar and automatically be the star of your neighborhood. That's guitarattic.com.
All right, we are back. Lap 101 out of 133. And after that incident, it looks like Mr. Hanner just decided to throw in the towel. So, in the words of Mr. Nick Adams, championship implications.
Yep, that's it. Unless one of them decides to rejoin the race or something like that, that's going to have Hanner finishing 4th in the point standings, Gottschalk finishing 3rd, and really right now the 2 positions we got to settle out are 1st and 2nd between Blake Gordon and Justin Anderson.
Well, as they run, where are they standing?
Well, let's take a look. That's a great question. Right now, Blake Gordon has a 18-point lead over Justin Anderson.
So somebody's arm needs to itch and take out Blake, is what you're saying.
If we want to see this thing end up differently, then I think that's what's going to have to happen. Or Blake's going to have to do something stupid. We don't see it very often. I mean, the guy, he's almost perfect all the time, but he is human. He has made a couple of mistakes in the past, so there's always that chance, but I honestly think he's going to be so conservative these last few laps. He wants to win the race, but at the same time, I think he realizes he has the championship locked as long as he can have a decent finish.
Well, and he is surrounded by Steel Horse teammates. So there is.
I was going to make a joke about that being anywhere on the track, but I think we've beaten that Steel Horse to death.
Yes, we have.
What was that? Just a horse noise? I don't know what that was.
No, that was just me giving a fake chortle.
Having fun on our last broadcast here.
As the pace car is about to peel off with Justin Anderson in the lead, followed by Joe Dinsmore and Gael Brooks, and Justin is off quickly, getting himself out to a good lead. Joe Dinsmore is on that low line trying to block Blake Gordon, but Blake is taking the high line, and he's going to have a good run out of turn 2. And he should be able to solidify that second place.
I take back everything I said earlier, because when Blake pitted, I was expecting him to be behind more guys on this restart, but he was awesome on pit road, as he normally is.
Oh, as he gets loose in turn 4, that's going to give Joe Dinsmore the second place position, and we are under caution again.
Brian McBain and Tony Pandon involved.
Kevin Haas, let's take a quick look. Oh, that's and that's Brandon Bernhardt involved. And how did Kevin Haas and Johnny Downey get involved in that one?
I'm going to guess it was something that happened afterwards.
I'm going to guess it's them locking up the brakes in our system. Just saying, yep.
Well, let's wait.
Oh, yep. Same thing for both of them.
Well, I mean, Johnny did go around at least, but Kevin kept it going. Just had to come nearly a complete stop to avoid that.
Well, there's nothing more true than cautions breed cautions.
You're telling me, but I mean, we saw Blake struggling a little bit there because obviously he's pushing it right now. He does not have to push it. I mean, he does have 3-lap fresher tires than Justin Anderson. I mean, that's not huge, but he should be faster at this point. We've got almost 30 laps to go. Just be patient. No reason to push the issue at this point.
Absolutely not. And these restarts are actually going to make it to where that lap differential between Blake Gordon's tires and Justin Anderson, it's going to normalize it a little bit. The heat cycles and how hard he was pushing, everything should end up leveling out if, God forbid, we have one more.
Well, I certainly hope we don't.
I will agree with that exact statement. But while we are under here, let's hear one more time about the league we are watching, the AOLL.
The AOLL began online racing in the mid-1990s, with Papyrus's NASCAR racing still going strong 27 years later on the iRacing platform. The TNT Series races on Thursday night, running the ARCA Chevy cars for drivers looking to learn and have fun. The Cup Series races on Sunday nights, featuring league veterans and Class A licensed drivers. The Sportsman Division races on Wednesday nights, running the Gander Outdoor trucks with drivers from the Cup and TNT Series. You can catch all of the AOLL racing action right here on Go.
And we are back, and we have not many changes right now from our starting lineup. Justin Anderson is in first, Joe Dinsmore in second, Blake Gordon is going to be starting third. And the one thing that I can see here with the lane choice is we are going to see Justin Anderson take the top line so he can pin Blake Gordon back once again. That's depending on how much right now Justin Anderson is thinking about holding on to the lead of this race. But I would say that there is a reasonable chance that he ends up taking the top line so he can get the jump. Gael Brooks and Joe Dinsmore can hold Blake Gordon at bay. But ultimately, let Justin get to a comfortable lead before Blake starts really pushing to get himself up in front and fighting once again for that top position.
Yeah, I do not think there's any scenario that Blake's going to. I mean, it looks like he's going to take the top. I mean, he has to take the top here. He cannot let Blake be behind him and get the benefit of jumping with him. He wants to potentially be able to get Blake held up back there.
And as we have dropped below 25 laps left, well, once we get started again, and he is taking that top line, it's almost like he was listening. But
we're Justin's strategists, apparently.
That, or we just think all too closely to Justin Anderson in this situation.
Well, honestly, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, I think your primary competitor, you want to keep them behind you.
Well, without a doubt. And I'm going to apologize in advance. For some reason, my cat wants to be super snuggly right now, so I'm trying to avoid him stepping on keyboards or anything else. So if things suddenly go haywire, I do apologize. But we are going to start with 25 laps left in this race. And it should be a good shootout. I don't think we are going to see any more pit stops tonight. Because
well, I mean, they should all be out of tires at this point. I guess there are probably some guys like Joe Dinsmore. I don't think he took tires on his first stop, so he may still have a set. A few other guys that did fuel only on that first stunt.
Well, and we'll have to wait and see as we are ready to go green. The pace car is about to be peeling off. And will Justin go early? I would wait as the green flag's out. And exactly what we figured would happen as Blake is going blazingly hard to get around Joe Dinsmore on the inside. And, well, trying to trap him didn't really do too much.
Yeah, at this... Gael Brooks has issues.
Oh, as Gael is dropping like a rock, keeps it in the wall. And that keeps us from going under caution once again.
Oh.
But, ooh boy, is this about to get real spicy as Blake is trying to get his nose down below Justin Anderson. Justin's giving him the space for the time being. But I'm waiting to see if these guys go hard early or if Justin is going to just try to hold him on that low line, let him burn some tire off, and then bring it back with about 10 to go.
Oh, yeah, look at him there. I mean, that was, he pinched him down hard and then shot back up. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do there. And, I mean, this is what he has to do because Blake Gordon has fresher tires. You're going to have to, try to hold that outside and pinch him down. It's really about your only hope.
Well, as this little bit of a paddle is opening up the door for Joe Dinsmore to come up there, start helping his teammate, and really make this fight worth watching, even though I don't think that's going to be any kind of a problem.
Well, if Joe really wants to help his teammate, I think he should give Blake a little bump. Just, not don't spin him out or anything. Just maybe push him up into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, just knock him a little bit off his line. Throw some elbows out. Just make it interesting.
Look, I want right now we've got as they run, Blake Gordon has a 20-point lead in the championship. I'd like to see that at about 10 points. I think it would make for a better championship battle.
Well,
so,
as Blake Gordon's trying to get the run on the low side, gets himself a little bit in front of Justin Anderson.
He timed that really well. That was textbook right there, and I think he's going to have it, honestly.
Oh, he without a doubt, he's going to have it. But right now, if I'm Justin Anderson, cross him over.
Yep. But Blake's trying not to let that happen. But again, I mean,
down real low on entry. And no.
Oh, that was That was almost
Netcode
something.
gods are on their side right now.
Oh man, the netcode gods were like, let's see a good race to the finish. Let's not end it right now.
But Blake Gordon definitely in that process opens up a half-second gap. But right now, Justin Anderson has the advantage of a teammate right there who's going to drop it down low. Yeah, maybe not acting too much like a teammate.
Well, look, I mean, that's the fun about racing being both a team sport and an individual sport. Oh, Joe did run to the wall. I think who was that behind him there or with him? Tony
That was
Pandon.
Tony Pandon looking to
Caution is
re-rack
out.
it. And that's no, that's not what I wanted. Stop scrolling. Well, that didn't go back far enough. Tony gets a great run off the corner, and as Joe, I don't know if that was a spotter issue, and collect Sean Carmody in the process. And whew, well, that's interesting.
So I'm looking at guys. I'm trying to think. I think someone like Adam Wood should have a set of tires left, if I'm not mistaken.
I would believe so, yes. And right now, there's only 8 people on the lead lap. Joe Dinsmore also will have fresh tires that he can put on. And, oh yeah, I'm going in. Joe's obviously making the dive in.
Yeah, already has, it looks like, based on the fact he doesn't have any damage.
No, I just think
he
that
hasn't.
no, the spoilers crumpled a little. But he's
looked like it was
definitely
more
going to
earlier,
go
but yeah.
in, get his fast repair, get
Yeah,
some fresh rubber because he will get to start on the lead lap.
Yeah, honestly, this isn't that bad for Joe. And as expected, Adam Wood, Derek Schilling, Andrew Burgess also in. This thing could get really interesting. They're not going to have a huge lap differential on tires, but it could pay off for them. I don't think they're not going to lose a lot of positions here.
Well, and here's the other major thing to look at is Tony Pandon and Brandon Bernhardt both came in on the last caution. So they came in lap 105.
That was fuel only, if I'm not mistaken, though.
Tony
and
Pandon
Tony
took tires.
Yeah, Tony had tires. That might explain why he was able to get to the outside of Joe Dinsmore there. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, these guys that just pitted are going to have even fresher tires. Adam Wood, just pitted and now is running in 5th. I mean, Adam Wood might be able to pull off and win this race.
Well, and even with the incident that just happened, Joe Dinsmore also, to where we now have 9 cars on the lead lap. David Naughton got the wave around for the lucky dog. Granted, he will be at the end of the line, but I definitely think because we had that caution at lap 95, or 98, sorry, I was thinking Justin Anderson's pit stop.
If we can stay green, I think that Adam Wood, Andrew Burgess, Derek Schilling, Joe Dinsmore have a shot to win this race.
100%, because these guys, without a doubt, are going to have much fresher rubber, going to be much faster, because, again, we just saw it with Tony Pandon, and that was only 10-lap fresher tires. So we'll have to wait and see what can happen as we've got Derek Schilling out there commenting, saying that he's in the top 10. And he is having a strong race. He's up 10 positions into 6th. So if we can keep it together, this is a top 5 for him most likely.
I mean, again, I'm not ruling out Derek Schilling winning this race. I mean, he's going to have fresh tires, or he has fresh tires. I mean,
let one of the other guys open up and part the seas for him. Follow along. and then fight. As we see Blake Gordon taking the top line. So he has his teammate behind him in Brandon Bernhardt. So we'll have to see. Are there going to be some team games played here to where those two can get a good jump and push each other forward to where Brandon can get a second place, maybe even a win with the fresher tires? Did I lose a Carl?
Oh, no, I'm still here. I was looking at some numbers over here, but yeah, 15 laps to go. Look, I'm sure the guys that just pitted are wishing that this were like, 22, 23 laps to go. 15's going to be tough. So that's why I think, someone like Adam Wood, Derek Schilling, it's favorable for them right now more than anybody. But we're about to go green here.
As the pace car peels off, Justin Anderson's going to be under pressure from Tony Pandon from the start, and they get a good jump to where it looks like Brandon Bernhardt may not be able to clear Justin Anderson as he goes up there to stop any kind of a run, but Blake gets a great jump on him.
Oh, Derek Schilling has some issues.
And it looks...
They're wrecking. We're still green because they looks like they went off to the to the apron. We're good. Keep an eye here on Adam Wood. If he can get around Tony Pandon, I think this thing's gonna get real interesting.
Well,
and Joe Dinsmore as well.
Yeah, Joe Dinsmore is currently up into sixth around Tony Pandon. So we're about to see a steel horse train rolling through town as Brandon Bernhardt is trying the low line on Justin Anderson. But Justin is not going to give this up very easily. And now Justin has the support of Adam Wood to give him that extra little bit of an aero boost.
Look at Joe.
Joe is fighting on that low line. Going to link up with Adam, and I think these guys are basically just saying, screw Justin, I want the win.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what they should be doing at this point. Because, I mean, look, Adam Wood, he wants it. I mean, he's going to go out there and he's going to fight for it. And I think he's going to take the lead here. He is definitely faster right now.
I think that there is no question. Even having to work through traffic was 0.3 of a second faster than Blake Gordon. And they are right there on his bumper. The fresh Goodyears are showing their advantage as Adam Wood is putting the pressure on Blake Gordon, drops down to the low line, and gets a little bit of the apron and gets loose.
That's going to open up the door for Joe Dinsmore there.
As Joe is side by side, gets the pass done. And now it's time for Joe to try to track down Blake, but Adam is not giving up.
No, and he shouldn't. I mean, Adam Wood wants to get his second Cup win here, and he has the chance to do it. But Blake Gordon is wanting these two guys, these two teammates, to continue fighting it out. But Adam Wood's going to take the lead here, I believe.
Well, and Adam is going to sit there and pull Joe Dinsmore. We're going to get to see those tires in full force. 9 laps to go. And Joe Dinsmore is also around Blake Gordon. I have a feeling that right now Justin Anderson is kicking himself for taking those tires on that first stop. But
well, it almost worked out perfectly for him, but the cautions just didn't work out.
No, they did not. As right now we should be seeing Joe Dinsmore and Adam Wood just start to pull away from Blake Gordon.
I would expect that as well. But the big question mark comes up, if these guys start battling each other really hard, it might open the door again for Blake Gordon.
Well, I don't think we're going to see that battling for another 6 laps at this point. Because, yes,
Maybe.
they're going to want to go ahead, as we're seeing Brandon Bernhardt putting the move on Justin Anderson, using those fresher tires as Justin is giving no space.
No, he shouldn't. I mean, he's trying to hang on to every position he can right now.
But the tire differential between the two is showing itself. But we'll jump back up here. Adam Wood and Joe Dinsmore are currently just making their way away to where we'll go in the bumper of Joe Dinsmore. And Blake Gordon's not going away easily, but he is starting to drop out of frame ever so slightly.
Well, yeah, I mean, lap times are, it's a pretty big differential right now. I mean, they're almost, what is it, about 0.2 faster right now, so, than Blake Gordon.
But right now, it's Adam Wood's race to lose, and I know he yelled at us for watching him, but if he can take the season finale, I think all will be forgiven.
Yeah. But Joe Dinsmore, I think he's ready to go, and he's got his nose in there.
And he got a great run off of turn 4. He's going to have this pass done. But if I'm Adam Wood, I'm okay with that, because right now, I'm just going to follow him and work on setting up that last lap pass. I'm not going to make any moves yet, because we know Joe will have something to battle back. So Adam just needs to bide his time and work on holding that gap to finish out the season strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Joe's pulling away a little bit right now. I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of crazy how fortunes can change in such a hurry. Being involved in an incident just a few laps ago and now leading the race, potentially going to win.
Well, but it couldn't have been more perfectly timed, and he couldn't have set himself up better, because he did have the tires to put on the car, as Andrew Burgess hit it on that last stop, gets around Brandon Bernhardt, now is going to set his sights on Blake Gordon, but with over a second gap, I don't think he's going to be able to get third place. So right now, this battle is going to be the one to watch.
Yeah, I think, this is it. Adam is not giving up on it, nor should he. I think it's going to be a tall order to take this away from Joe Dinsmore, though.
Well, I think if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's Adam Wood, and he's got 2 laps left to do it. So now it's go time. If I'm Adam Wood, it's give this car everything it's got. As you can see, he got all the way down onto the line. So it's time to sit there, burn up the good years, as we're about to be getting the white flag. And I think Blake Gordon may actually end up dropping out of the top 3 for the race tonight.
Well, that won't be a problem for him still in a solid place in the points. It looks like
Especially with
Blake Gordon will win a championship.
Justin Anderson dropping back. But Joe Dinsmore going into the last set of turns is going to close out the year with a win. And the checkered flag flies, and Joe takes the win. And Blake Gordon takes the season championship. So let's go ahead, as maybe there was... Hold on. I gotta see.
I think he was just messing around. He crossed start finish line.
I was hoping that he was gonna go all the way around and run into the barrels for us, just for giggles. But no less, we have our results. And I forgot to reset this as usual. Joe Dinsmore takes the win. Adam Wood in second. Blake Gordon holds on to third. Andrew Burgess in fourth, Brandon Bernhardt fifth, Justin Anderson sixth, Tony Pandon in seventh, Derek Schilling in eighth, David Naughton ninth, and Ross Gage in 10th.
In 11th, we have Teddy Weichel. 12th, Johnny Downey. 13th, Kevin Haas. 14th, Timothy St. Jean. 15th, Sean Carmody. 16th, Kyle Brooks. 17th, Brian McFerrin. 18th, Joshua Hanner. 19th, Steve Gottschalk. And in 20th, Mike Burgess.
And 21st is John Gordon. 22nd, Jason Swan. 23rd, Randy Pepper. 24th is Ed Springer. All right, it's time to go ahead and bring up our winner as we have dueling burnouts going on right now.
They're just kiffing.
All right, let's go ahead, bring up our winner, Mr. Joe Densmore. All right, Joe, how did it feel to take the win on the last race tonight?
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, I felt fast all night, especially on the long runs. But you know, I really want to thank Tony for the win, because man, I'll tell you, I mean, I might have had a chance, but it would have been a heck of a battle trying to get up there in first place if it wasn't for those fresher tires. Man, Adam made it challenging though. He didn't make it easy on me.
So talk us through what happened there with Tony, because you know, from our perspective, it looked like Tony was on your outside and perhaps he rode up a little bit. What happened there?
Well, I mean, I came off the corner and there was no call. I was trying to get behind Justin. I pulled up. My spotter said I was clear coming off the corner, so I went to pull up behind Justin, and the next thing I know, my rear end was clipped. So, you know, my crew chief is set really close to my car, so I don't know how close he was to me, but obviously it was close enough to hit me.
Well, it definitely looked like one of those moments that it was a bad crew chief call.
Yeah, I mean, if we had live spotters, I mean, that stuff would be, you know, a little bit less common, I guess. But you know, it's hard to judge momentum when you're in the heat of the moment trying to do something, and stuff like that happens.
Well, it's one of those things that I don't think I'm ever going to hear another person thank the person that wrecked them for a win.
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree. Definitely, you know, put me in a good spot. You know, I mean, I still had to get through the traffic, which I managed to place myself in the right places to get past the traffic relatively quickly. But because I didn't want to lose any time to Adam. But I mean, I had some really good long run speeds tonight. I want to say Justin's probably the only one that may have given me a challenge on the long run. You know, because I mean, I was pacing with Steve Gottschalk on his fresher tires on my old tires, so I'll take that as a win.
No, without a doubt, that's one of those. Again, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to say that again.
Yeah, well, probably not. So I do have to say congratulations to Blake for an amazing. My motor just blew. An amazing season, winning the championship. I look forward to racing next season with him. He's going to have a heck of a lot more of a challenge next year, trying to get a lot more of those wins. I've been really working on that speed, and it's been showing week over week, and even in, you know, some of the other leagues, I've been pulling up and closer to that to those higher spots. So we'll have to see. I know we're going to be doing a new car next season, so.
I was going to say, you have the great equalizer to where now's the time to start putting in the laps with the next gen car, because it's going to be a different challenge. You have tons of experience with the current Cup car, but it's all out the window come next February.
Well, not everything. I mean, you still have momentum, apexes, and understanding race lines, and a few other things, and understanding tire heat and all that. So, I mean, outside of that, yeah, I mean, understand the characteristics of the vehicle, and that's to say that they don't change it, right? I mean, so it's going to be a pleasure racing those things. It's going to be a nice change for us. And again, I thank you guys for broadcasting this, and anybody else that's watching. Yeah,
it's kind of sad
it
to
just
see
feels
it go,
good.
but
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing the two of you on the track.
yeah, that's the part that makes it not so sad.
Right. Exactly.
But no less, congrats on the win. We've got a lot of people to chat with tonight, so we'll let you get back to your team, even though it's just Adam, so I'm going to be putting you down to dead air.
No problem. Pull him up.
Have a good night, good sir.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Thank you.
And onward to Mr. Adam Wood, because, yeah, we do have a ton of people to chat with tonight. All right, Adam.
What's going on?
We broke our understanding to where we ended up watching you. So don't blame us for second.
Oh, man. I mean, it was a fun race. I knew I wasn't going to, I mean, thanks to that last caution, I hurt a whole bunch of other people, but it helped me. And, me and Joe had some fun.
I mean, you could have given him the tip.
I could have, and I could have put, our Ghostfire Media car in Victory Lane.
I mean,
Well-
it was a beautiful car.
Yeah, why didn't you?
He's a teammate, so it's kind of hard. You can't really give the teammate the tip.
I disagree with that.
That is not something that happens.
I mean, I know it
closed
happens in
circuit.
your lobby, but yeah, in your team. I mean, especially underneath cautions and stuff, you guys, give each other the tip all the time.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do.
What's going to happen next year when there's not me and Carl constantly making that joke?
There'll be new jokes.
I'm sure. But no, great run from you tonight. You became the beneficiary of a late caution, but it doesn't matter as long as you're still on that podium.
Yeah, I got lucky there when the caution came out with around 90 or so laps, about 105 laps in or something like that. The caution came out, and I was luckily right behind Blake as the lucky dog was able to get back around. I was going to be iffy on fuel calculation there of making it. We went green all the way. That caution helped me out, got me back, cycled back up on the lead lap. I mean, it was the Blake caution he needed to make his strategy work. And then, that last one, I was like, well, I got a four fresh set of tires, so I'm going to use them. And use them to my advantage, just one position short.
I mean, it
Yeah.
still gave us a great battle to watch at the end because the lap differential on the tires was massive at Homestead, like it always is. So
Yeah, man.
at least there were two people on the same strategy running together to make it to where we at least had something fun to watch.
I mean, it was fun. I guarantee you, the battles behind me would have probably been just as fierce, but I think once we kind of got by them, they kind of just went a little, a little bit lackluster. Blake was trying to battle right there, trying to keep up the last little bit there. To third to Andrew Burgess. That one looked pretty spicy back there in my rearview mirror to see what they were doing, and but yeah, I thought about dropping low, come off the corner, just the car wouldn't go as far as I wanted to down low, and it just gave Joe the run. That's all he was doing. He was kind of laying up in the center of the corner and just got a hell of a run off the bottom, and the way I was keeping my car going, it just wouldn't drop down that low, and I got on by me.
No, it was a great run from you tonight to be able to take second, but we got to talk to our third place driver, but the champion of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great way to cap off this season here. Running Ghostfire Media on the hood, finishing second in my teammates. So we got 1-2 still horse racing. So that was fantastic to be able to do that. So yeah, I appreciate you guys being up in the booth there. It's a fantastic job you guys done all year long to provide these fans wonderful entertainment here on Sunday nights, man. So we appreciate you taking your time out and having some fun up there in the booth.
Well, next year we'll get to provide everybody the fun with us wrecking you, because that's...
Let's bring it on.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Congratulations, and have yourself a good evening.
You too, gentlemen.
Yep. I put him in their first response group because, you know what? That's where people work. All right, time to talk to our champion, Mr. Blake Gordon.
What's up?
Well, you don't sound as happy as I would have anticipated.
I had a long time to wait to talk to you guys, but I'm absolutely thrilled, man. Feels good to get the Cup Championship too, of course.
Well, another double this year. Not going to hold that against you. At least you couldn't take all three.
Well, I did go.
Tried.
I went 2 for 2 in TNT, so who knows what would have happened. But as Carl likes to say, it's just the beginner league, so I don't know what that does to your title, Josh.
I mean, he's jealous because he doesn't have the turtle lamp at his desk.
Oh, I absolutely am jealous that I couldn't be king of the losers. I love everyone in that league, though, so and I'm one of the losers. But man, that was an incredible run from you tonight. I was hoping it was going to stay green because you and Justin were just like cycling back and forth with the pit strategy.
Well, we screwed up the pit strategy. Me and Brandon's my fuel guy, and we missed the fact that first round of pit stops, maybe it was the second yellow, would have put us into 2-stop territory. So we stayed out. We're like, why is everyone else pitting? That doesn't make sense. And then we figure out, oh, wait a second. Yeah, it does. So we were pretty screwed there until the Hanner and Ross crash, I guess. And then that really helped us out. And then what I really didn't need was the Joe caution. But it's ironic how he causes that crash and gets the tires and goes on to win. So congrats to him. Also ironic, it was Tony in the same situation. He put me in at Rockingham. So hopefully both those guys will check their mirrors now coming off the corners more often. But yeah, I was really looking forward to, winning hopefully tonight at Homestead the way it was looking there after everything kind of cycled back through. We were in no position to do that at all. So I was like, oh man, this might actually happen. And then, yeah, the last yellow, we forgot everyone had tires. So it's all good. The big picture was a championship. So I just had to come in, have a consistent night and not finish dead last and not let one of those guys max out the points. So did what I had to do.
Well, so you knew that finishing dead last was about the only way you were going to lose this, or really, anywhere outside the top 20 could have put you in trouble. But
yeah,
what was your mindset coming into this race? Were you like thinking like, I'm a little bit free to go for a win now?
Yeah,
because
I go for a win every week, and it hasn't really.
I know that
it hasn't failed.
Yeah.
I mean, coming to Homestead, obviously this is Justin's turf. He's going to be fast here, and the only thing I've wanted to do. Okay, let me rephrase this. One of the things that is on the top of my bucket list for the league is beat Justin for the win at Homestead. So I beat him, but not for the win. And it was really just due to tire strategy and the way the yellows fell at the end. So I think on equal tires, he still would have had me tonight. And I did get a little bit nervous, a little bit of a pucker moment when I was passing him on the outside and I saw him wash up the track, but I was looking in the mirror the whole time. I saw him sliding up, so I kind of went up with him and cleared him off the corner, so that was pretty fun.
I was going to say, it looked like after that the caution that allowed you to pit and get on relatively the same cycle, it looks like you two were going to just be having the time of your lives, and then we just kept having cautions.
I had better tires, so I figured it was a matter of just waiting for him to slip up, and that's exactly what happened. He slipped up, and I was able to, start getting alongside of him and going for it. Earlier in the race, I was able to stick with him a little bit, and then the pit stops happened, and then that was the last time I saw him. So, on speed, I don't think I would have had anything for him tonight. And then on the long run, Joe looked really good that first run. He copped me, passed me. I think, who else was it? Someone else passed me too, I think. It's so easy to overdrive the corner entries here and just melt the right front. This setup was sneaky tight on the long run. So I'm trying to get better at working on that. So who knows what next year with the next gen, what that's going to be like. Probably be flat out for the entire run.
I mean, I've thought about trying it, but I have to get through getting myself prepped for the Endeavor Snowball Derby before I start moving to the next gen.
Yeah, that's going to be a really fun race. Hopefully we get more people signing up December 5th, the 300 lap 5 Flag Speedway super late model race we're putting on. So I think we got like 10 or 15, 20 maybe. Hopefully we can get up to that number of 36. That'd be sweet.
I ran some AI right before
I
jumping
saw.
onto the broadcast. Oh
It
my
is
God,
fun, isn't
is
it?
it so much fun.
Yeah, it's a
Those
blast.
cars, you can be super aggressive even late into the run and still hold it, and those cars will deal with a lot more beating and banging than basically any other vehicle I've ever run.
Yeah, they're not really aero dependent. That's the style of racing I love. Like that's why I love going to short tracks. I love Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, the tracks where you get hard on the brakes. You can kind of lean on people. I love that stuff. This whole intermediate, flat out most of the time, or the difference between lifting like 50 feet too early or 50 feet too late, just killing your right front. Like I don't really prefer this at all. But I mean, I guess next year we're going to be flat out on all the intermediates anyway, so I guess it won't be too bad.
But it'll be fun because, again, everybody's got to learn that new car, which means that Carl and I have a chance.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I do want to say, though, I've appreciated racing with everyone this year, as always. All the guys that, push me every single week, Justin, Hanner, Wellen, Piscini, Joe, Brandon, Steve, all the fast guys. You never know which one of those guys is going to come out being, on top each week, and you kind of have to be ready for it. Justin's going to be up there. So I love racing with all these guys. So hopefully I'm around next year to keep it going and maybe go for the three-peat.
Hopefully the air traffic control life doesn't keep you away from racing.
Well, that's the thing, because next year I'll be actually moving on to that final step of radar training. So I don't know what the schedule is going to look like. It's going to be whatever I get and whatever I can race on the outside of that. So we'll see. If I'm able to race, I'll be here.
Nope, it sounds good. We got to congratulate you once again on the double for the AOLL, and looking forward to taking the fight to you to keep you from a third.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Somehow I pulled off almost a second place average finish in the Cup Series this year, which is it's crazy. I don't know, consistency and going for the wins. I mean, if you don't win, you get pretty close. It doesn't really hurt you, So yeah, I'm looking forward to next year.
All right, thank you.
My final request is give us a full tank of gas next year. Please.
It has been heard.
Thank you, Carl.
I won't
All right,
disagree with
fellas.
that. That's what's been great about the Arcos and the TNT. It was great in the Legends, to where it really came down to tire management and not somewhat artificially forcing pit stops.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys again for doing the broadcast all season long. It's been a lot of fun to go back and watch everything you guys say and all the little inside jokes Carl likes to sneak in. So I'm sure I'll find something when I go back and watch this one.
You'll like the pun I had this time.
Oh boy, can't wait.
It was a terrible dad pun, which made it
Ooh.
awesome.
Nice.
All right, thank you much, sir. We will catch you December 5th for the Endeavor Snowball Derby.
I'll be there. I'll see you guys there. Should be a good night.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, fellas. Talk to y'all later. See?
All right, that is basically going to do it for us here at Ghostfire Media. This is the end of our AOLL coverage for the year. We do have some broadcasts that will be coming up. We have picked up the Sim 500 Racing League. That will be Wednesday night starting on December 1st. You'll get to see Randy and Nick handling that call. But that's going to be just about it for us for the year, with the exception of December 5th at 5 p.m. Catch us for the Endeavor Snowball Derby. That is the super late models at 5 Flags. It's a full 300 lap race. it's going to be an absolute blast because those cars, they're made for that track. You can I was making it running with AI, not real humans. Making 2 lanes work without any kind of an issue. You can tag people in the turns and not really have any issues. So it's going to be a great race. We may give Nick a few heart attacks in the process.
Well, and before we wrap up here, just one thing I'd like to say, similar to what I said at the end of the Sportsman broadcast. I want to thank everyone who has watched us this year, whether it's live or on replays. If you guys weren't watching, there'd be no point in doing this. And thank you to all the drivers in the AOLL who put on a great product every week. I've had a freaking blast calling this with you, Josh. Really nothing else to say. It's been a great season.
No, it's been an absolute blast. I'm looking forward to, unfortunately, you're going to see me running all of the AOLL next year rather than being in the booth. But you will be able to catch me occasionally on other Ghostfire Media broadcasts, but it's been a blast. Thank you everyone for a wonderful year of racing viewership. But this is it for Ghostfire Media from the AOLL. Thank you everyone, and have yourselves a good evening.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.